Yes, good evening. I'm Eric Fingerhut, and I love to cook. And when you cook, there is different ways to do that. Some people, they like to experiment, and they see the creativity, the innovation. And others, like me, I like to follow a guide. I like to take a book from a recipe book that gives me the precise amount of salt, of oil that I need to put. And I work with a measuring glass. And why I'm talking to you about books and cooking books is because for me, the dashboards in Toastmaster, it's exactly the same purpose. It gives me my navigation dashboard, something that's easy to follow and know where to act. So in case you're not yet familiar with all the dashboard, this is your session tonight. And we will start obviously by the distinguished report. If you've never seen that, you can see on my screen, I'm logged to Toastmaster International. And if you moved on your home page and you moved on, you have your Club Central. So that's really the place as an officer where you want to focus. And if you're on your Club Central, down here, you will see the Distinguished Performance Report. This is a real start where I want to focus, because if we on the Distinguished Performance Report, you see all the key numbers that matter for your club. Now I'm logged in as an officer in the Roche Club, Roche Basel Toastmaster, and you can see my Distinguished Club Performance Dashboard. And here, this is open to everyone. You can also access this, and I can access your club's performance dashboard. Now, if you're really not familiar with that, on the left, you will see the guide that explains you how to read. But just to make it very easy for you, there is 4 sections that are important. In there, you have the education session that registers the number of people that achieve a certain level on pathway. The membership, how many new members did you get? The training, are your fellow officer trained? Did they attend the club officer training? Did you attend any of those, enough of those Leadership Institute organized this summer, for instance? And the administration, which is about, are you paying on time? Are you submitting your officers on time? Each of those will give you points, and at the top, you see how many you need to reach the distinction. Now, let's be honest. You can be a thriving club without any of those points. But we know that those that achieve a lot of points here are definitely thriving. You can take the risk, go without, or you can focus on those dashboard and make sure you at least hit and do the minimum. The point is not to have those numbers and hit the distinction. The point is that helps you to focus on what's important. So the trick for you is to go and check on your side to open the Distinguished Club Performance Dashboard if you didn't yet open it, right? Go to your Club Central now, go on Distinguished Club Performance, and look and try to see your report. And pause here for a second so to give you the chance. Now, hopefully you managed to get there. You see on the top, you have other tags. So if you are a district officer, there is also something for you, because if you click on the club performance, you suddenly can see all the division compared. So here, I think we were in division C, but you see all the divisions and you see the same information, but this time the information is in column. Now, an interesting thing for you is to find out what is the most thriving club currently. Look at this club. Novartis Campus Speakers, 5 goals achieved, and we're not even at the end of August. And compare that to a lot of clubs that are at 0, not even fulfilling the basics of providing the administrative section on time. So maybe in any of you able to beat Novartis Campus Speaker this year. Even our club, unfortunately, the Roche one, is not as performing as well. Only one club, only one goal completed so far. So if you are an area director or a division director, a quick way to see where your clubs are, go on club performance. And if you're the division director and continue to click on there, you will even see the key information about where the renewals done on time, have the club visit being done, and obviously the number of club goals achieved. Now, I like to focus on the officers. Most of you here in the room tonight will be officers. So let's go back on this. And the first question you might have on this dashboard is, very good, but where does the number come from? And how do I check that? So that's the first thing I like you to be at ease. How do I check whether this is correct? And this is easy because on the left, you have daily reports. So let's start from the bottom, administration, right? If I go and open my daily reports, is it opening or not? It is. Yeah. It will open a page like this where you can select different reports. And you will see that indeed you can quickly see the due renewal status. Connect. And then if you select that, unfortunately, you will have all the club, but you can use the Control F section to do a small search. And here I'm looking to my club. I can quickly find my club. Here, verify complete. On 31st of July, the club paid their renewal due. So I can see the status according to Toastmaster. And if I change this and take another one like the club officially status and use the same trick, I can see they received that on 6th of June. Remember, we were trying to, not this one, we were trying to double check where those points come from. Here I've seen that. So in this case, those two were right. So if you get a 0 and we're expecting something different, first step, go on the daily reports on the left here and double check the information that Toastmaster International recorded on the site. Now let's assume that I want to see who has been trained. Is that correct? Obviously for November, February, at this stage of the year, 0 is what I expect. But here, in our club, we believe we have 2 officers that were trained. How do I check that? Well, there the bad news is you can't do that directly. You need to go to your area director or your division director, and they have access to a link because for them, where you have Club Central, they have District Central. And in District Central, they should be able to see who was registered by role. So if this is not correct, don't wait for 30 of September or 30 of April. Reach out now to your area director or your division director and make sure they correct that in time while it's still possible. Now, checking the new members might sometimes be more difficult because it's not a straightforward answer. You don't have a daily report that tells you, hey, here are all the daily numbers. The best trick I found is to go back to your Club Central. Remember, we were on Club Central, and here you can go to membership management. So you saw on my previous report, we had 2 new members. Is that correct for my club? This is what we want to figure out. I go to membership management, and here again, it's not rightfully available. So what I need to do is export in Excel, which I'm doing now, and opening this. I have hidden here the privacy information because you will see the full address, the full email, but I'm not showing you that. And I'm zooming on the column on the right that's called Member of Club Since. I have sorted that by this column. And I can see that indeed, since 1st of July, I have 2 new members. So finding a 2 seems correct. Small exercise to you, go and double check whether this information on your side looks correct. So we found the 2 here, no problem, right? And now all the education, again, super easy. I'm gonna open the daily reports. If I'm opening the daily reports, that's open here, playing with Zoom to show you that. I also have these educational achievements. I use my trick, Control F. I'm looking for the club name. And I can see here that I have, according to Toastmaster, 1 person recorded on 5th of July. Already, our president did PM3. Was that what I saw on my dashboard? Let's double check. 1 person, that's what I registered. So at least those 2 are in sync. If I expected something else, probably the award was not provided, or the person didn't complete their level on time. That's why the VP needs to zoom in. So what we saw so far is we saw the DCP, the Distinguished Club Program dashboard, that gives you all the key information to know whether your club is on track to thrill. We also looked on how to double check any of those numbers on this dashboard, because it's great to have data. It's even better if you know where the data comes from. Now, the next things where you can really explode, if you're one of the few officers that access to base camp pathways, is to even use that to predict where will you finish the year. Are people actually progressing on their pathway? For that, unfortunately, I can't show you because I don't have access myself now. But what I can do is I've got some slides to show you how that looks like. Here, this is restricted to 3 of the club officers, the president, the secretary, and the VP, obviously. When they go to Pathways, they can log in as a base camp manager. If they log in as a base camp manager, what they see is 3 options. So they can submit an award, and unless it's submitted, it won't make it to your DCP. But what we're really curious about now is about the member progress. Because if I click on the member progress, I will come to a full list of dashboards. Like this one is individual progress, and I can refresh those dashboards. And there is plenty of instruction on how to technically refresh or download. You can refresh, you can even export each individual one to Excel. But the trick here is that those are not super easy to read. Look at this. I see the individual progress for this club, and I see that, what is her name? Alisa has done 5 projects, and Margaret, Cecile, Carcil has done 3. But if you zoom, if you go in Excel or display the details, what you really see is Margaret Carlil has 3 projects, and 1 of them is in progress. So it doesn't really tell you that she's completed this project. I mean, at first you say 3 out of 3, and the 5 out of 3 shows you that actually she's on 2 paths. Very misleading. So as a VP, typically you go there, you open that, and you never come back again because it's so confusing. I guess feedback has been given to Toastmasters International, but it's still not implemented. Meanwhile, what can you do? Don't stay on your individual progress. Use a past progress, because if you use a past progress and download in Excel, you will see a second tab that's called Status of Past 2. And when you open this one, you see a magic number on the right. The magic number is a percentage completion. And with clever formula or maybe with use, you can quickly understand what does that mean and who is your best bet to be able to complete your next level 2, next level 3. How do you read your completion percentage? Well, this is coming from an article by Jan Boyarski. I put the link here, and maybe I share it after, who work with Toastmasters to really understand what those percentages meant. But in a nutshell, what you can see on the right is Toastmaster considers 6 levels in pathway. Your 5 level you're familiar with, plus the one on reflecting on your club. And for each of those, they give a 6, that is 16.7% of completion. And then if in a given path you have a lot of projects to do, like on level 1 those days, you will have to divide that by 4. But if you have only 3 projects to do, you will divide that by 3. And that gives you what to add for each level. You follow me so far? Tough. That's why Jan provided this table where you can quickly see, okay, what does it mean? 67% completed level 4, but no project at level 5, for example. Let's take an example. If I look on my club, I added 2 small columns on the right. The first one, I have just simply divided by 16.67 and rounded that down. And that gives me what level have they completed. So I quickly see which level they're on. And then I had another one where I had a second formula where I want what's left. So you see here, I divided 67 by 4. I'm left with 2% of a full pass of 16.67, which means this person almost has to do all their pass. This is in line with what we say. 67, completely level 4, but no project yet done, rounding error. But look at this one, much more interesting. This person has done 9%. Level 0, they're on their first level. But they had 54% of their pass. This is someone I can bet on to complete their level 1 by the end of the year. And so on, right? I can see those people are completed, so no point, but they did not yet started the next level, did not open it. And this person might be a good bet to finish their level 3. Might be a lot of information to digest here. If you were with us now, you will do the exercise where I want you to go or have one of your VP, your president or secretary to open that report, log in as Bandcamp manager, go on the past progress, download it in Excel and give it to you. And then with that, you're able to understand where to focus your attention for this year. As a VP, this is a great thing to have because you're no more randomly trying to encourage everyone to progress. You're now telling them, hey, Julia, maybe you can complete your level 1. And that makes a lot of difference because at the end of the year, people do progress and they feel supported and encouraged. And that will make the difference between a club where pathway is kind of a plateau and others where it doesn't prevent. You can also see that some of them have a 0%. And that's a good indicator because it tells you they at least open pathway. So if you want to get people to get to the icebreaker, this is where to focus. Again, maybe they never did the icebreaker or they never completed the icebreaker in pathway. As a way that gives you valuable data to know where to act. Limited to a few officers, but you can assess the education progress and even point or promote some specific people. Now we do have other report too. If I go off Yeah, we do have other reports we can focus on. It's on Club Central. I'm looking for, where is my Club Central? Here it is. There is a few other reports you should be aware of. The first one I will talk about is this administrative report here. And honestly, the Toastmasters International brings new reports again and there, but doesn't say much about it. So maybe one day you'll find a new table. But administrative report, if you click on it, give you three types of reports. Who were your charter members? Maybe you don't remember, or maybe your club didn't keep track of that. You can find that here. Or your past and present club officer for a given date. Maybe you don't recall, or you don't have record for that. Or the past and present education awards. And I think this is one we can go and check now, because you can also sort by date. And you can see quickly a comparison with what we talked before. You can see that Aurélie got a level 3 on July 5th, which is in line with my DCP. But if you were wondering, oh, that's strange, I thought Joao was already on his level 2. You can see whether that was submitted or not, just in a snap of a finger. Powerful reports. I let you explore the others. What I really want you to remember here is there are those administrative reports that give you access to records your club might have lost, but Toastmasters International still has. Who chartered, who was an officer in your club, and what education awards were offered. But another one, this is super exciting, if you have to organize the contest, is the eligibility assistant. Anybody of you were aware of it? The eligibility assistant allows you to give a member and immediately give their name, so you don't just randomly accept it, and immediately see whether this person is eligible for a competition. So let me give an example. I think that's how you put the number, and that's our immediate past president, Julia Dragan. And if you search, maybe I should not put the PN. All right, let's check to myself. I should put the PN. Oh, it's coming at the bottom. Oh, my bad. So let me go back to Julia Dragan, search, scroll down, and here I can see where she is, what's her current position, and whether she's qualified. She's active on a status. The renewal started, and she's paid until 31st of March 2024. So if the contest is after, that might be a problem, but I can quickly check and challenge a person to double check or give me proof. Way easier. Let's check for myself. I hope I'm qualifying to compete this year. Yes, until end of March. So I can so far do all competition until end of March. All right. So that's the education eligibility assistant that you find in Club Central. That's the number 2 that I wanted to attract your attention to. And the third question you might have, maybe more if you are district officer, will be, who are the DTM in my region? Sometimes not easy to find. I found 2 ways to do that. And luckily, we have a wonderful District 109 website. If you're not familiar and wondering where it is, go on district109.org. And if you go there under, I guess it's under resource, all of them, sorry, you find all the distinguished Toastmaster. Let me click on that. You find how to become a distinguished Toastmaster, but more importantly, you find all the distinguished Toastmaster. Now, I'm now a lucky one. I should be there as well. Not yet refreshed, but working on it. Last update in June. So makes perfect sense. So once it will be refreshed, my name should appear there as well, I hope. But if you're not tapping into those DTM, or if you're new officer in your club, take the chance to go there. Maybe you have a DTM in your club that is having a low profile that you might want to pull forward and showcase because they are great source of inspiration. So what did we see today? Well, we saw that as an officer, you have access to Club Central. And that going to Club Central in your profile, you can see your distinguished performance report. That when you go to your distinguished performance report, we took a snapshot and how to navigate and how to double check those numbers. And what we said is achieving those numbers doesn't make you a you can be a thriving club without achieving those numbers, but achieving those numbers definitely make you a thriving club. We also saw that you can navigate by tab if you have a district role, area, or division, and you could see your competition, that other clubs are thriving already when maybe you did not even achieve your first goal. We then went on to check how to check each of those numbers. We saw that for administration and education, everything was there at the click of a button in daily reports. And we saw that if you wanted to double check the new members and not familiar with the numbers itself on the top of your head in your club, you needed to go back to the Club Central. Let me go back to the Club Central. Yeah. And go to membership management, download the file in Excel, and look for the column that tells you when they joined. Finally, we also talked that if you want to check that who was trained and that doesn't seem right to you, don't wait until the last minute. Reach out to your area director or your division director and get that corrected. Unfortunately, you have no ways to directly check yourself who is the officer counted here, and no way to correct that. So reach out to them. When we were on the Club Central, we also learned that there were plenty of other reports. You had the administrative report that were giving you the exact history of your club in case you lost it locally. And the eligibility assistant, that is a great way to check whether someone is qualifying for a contest. We then went to our district page under all of them to see whether we had any distinguished Toastmaster, another report to have at your disposal. Finally, the last thing we did, we went in pathway as a base camp manager, which is restricted to president, secretary, and VP. And there we saw how to be able to read where are your people in developing their pathway. I try to keep that short, make it very easy. DCP, how to check it, and other reports that you have in Club Central. So don't be a fool. Don't drive a car without knowing what's your speed limit, without knowing whether you still have fuel, or whether you have people joining or leaving your car as you're driving. Open your dashboard, learn to use the power of the data that is at your fingertips. Thank you very much.